So good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel Umstead. I have with me Gerald McCullough, who's going to be talking with me today on real estate and credit repair. So we are both with FES. So if you are looking to assist others in helping them build their credit, please feel free to reach out to us after the show directly. You can send us a DM. But without further ado, my co-host, Gerald McCullough. Gerald, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing awesome, man. Appreciate the opportunity to get on the show.
Definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, as you stated, my name is Gerald McCullough, originally from Yazoo City, Mississippi. Actually, went through school, got kicked out in the 8th grade, so went to seeking self-education through different books, things like Why We Want to Be Rich by Robert Kiyosaki, of course, the infamous Donald Trump, just to learn some of the business aspects, but also start reaching out to different real estate books. I'm pretty sure most of us have read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki as well. Led to Think and Grow Rich and things like that. I've been in the real estate journey for about 3 years now, going on 4. Actually, a new representative agent for FES, and actually been able to get 3 promotions so far. Senior field trainer, working on sales director, which enables me to help even more people on this journey to financial literacy, to try to help build wealth. So that's basically my passion.
Awesome, man. That's really great, y'all. Now, for those that are already tuned into the RNG radio show, y'all already know what I discussed, but definitely, Gerald, I think the people definitely want to hear, how does FES work? Like, how do we help people? And especially for you getting promoted that fast, I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are even brand new to FES want to know. So how is it that FES helps people, and how have you helped so many people that fast?
Okay, yeah. So FES basically help people gain financial stability through educating financial services, things like budgeting, the education on how to utilize credit, the different the different ways credit varies on your credit score. We're taught, you know what I'm saying, don't get credit, don't get debt. But honestly, there's two things is debt. You got good debt and bad debt. So just being enlightened on how to utilize good debt, you can able to build cash flow and wealth through buying the proper assets versus liabilities, which is a lot of things that Rich Dad Poor Dad talk about. So FES basically is what I want to call a tool in your belt, a diverse tool that actually helps you set a budget plan, know your net worth, increase it, take you through a credit restoration process. Also has a will and trust aspect in it to actually leave things behind to your heirs, your children, younger generations. Basically just set forth you on building financial stability. And you also get to earn an income through helping people, just like a real estate agent, real estate brokerage works actually. The more agents you in, the more people you're able to help acquire financial freedom, just as well as you're able to help them acquire homes and cars, reliable transportation and things like that. So, and you're also learning at the same time while you're earning. So that's the positive benefit in it for me.
Awesome, man. I love that. I love that. And folks, I want you to understand that with FES, you hear a lot of these quote unquote pyramid schemes, these quote unquote MLM schemes, but understand we're not out here to sell shakes, coffees, or some type of quote unquote plan that you really don't need in your life. These are items helping you build your credit. And for the fact that you get 12 free services included, and my co-host Gerald just discussed, a few of those. There's so much more to this that's going to be included in your program and signing up. And then in addition, for those that want to make their money on the side by becoming an agent, you can do that. It is achievable and it is possible. We're helping so many people in so many different fields, careers, and industries. Those who are in real estate benefit, those that do car sales benefits. Anybody that's doing any type of service or product that has to deal with credit, this is for you. There's no reason why you can't add on this additional stream of income And I wanted to talk further because I mean, we can keep bragging all day about our services, you know, but until the people see why, I definitely want to go over that with you. So Gerald, what have
Yeah.
you noticed from talking with people who pretty much say like, hey man, I can't get it started right now? Like, what are their excuses and what are some of the reasons you're coming across people don't want to get their credit fixed?
Mainly because most of us has been taught the scarcity mindset. You know how you see all those signs of save, Food Depot, and things like that. So we think it's not enough resources out there for us to do that. But when you look at your finances, if you ever calculate your finances, you'll see how much money you spend on worthless things versus setting aside $3 a day for something that can actually build wealth for the future. Because that's all it basically mainly costs, $3 a day. And I'm sure everybody has $3 that they spend throughout a day on, you know, useless items and things like that. But and also, like, most of us depend on one stream of income. Getting in financial education service, not only do you get great products, but you also get a great environment that you're around, hanging around wealth, people with a wealth mindset that you're able to attain knowledge and information and experiences from as well. So you're growing your self-improvement while growing a business that can produce residual income and teach you how to get out of the scarcity mindset. You know, I would say some people, like some people want the instant gratification. Like, if I pay my money, you know what I'm saying, my credit score gonna go up next week. No, like my mentor say, it took you some years to mess up your credit. It's gonna take a couple months to get it back right.
Correct.
Yeah. So but as far as objections, I don't like I have quite a good ratio as far as like people that I've closed, because I basically just break it down to them. You know, like, just think about it. It's an investment that you know that you couldn't get an apartment from having a bad credit score at some point in time. You know that you had to go pay $5,000 down for a car, and that car probably went back because you didn't have the proper finances, or you didn't know how to manage your money to even keep that car. You got maintenance to think about. You got gas. You got the car payments and insurance that you got to think about as well. And so, learning how to manage your finances and also having a good credit score, you can eliminate a lot of those risks. You losing $5,000. Just think about, you get your checks when you use $5,000 down payment on a car. You can invest 188 into increasing your credit score, where you didn't have to put that $5,000 down from the get go.
Correct. No,
And,
absolutely.
Yeah. So basically, just speaking about the value of credit. You know, a lot of people aren't aware of, because probably their parents had bad credit. So they used to going to college putting $3,000-$4,000 down because their parents didn't have, you know, good credit. So it's basically educating on what good credit can actually do for them.
Yeah, and
as far
instead
as
of waiting
interest
until
rates
the tax time or the quote unquote next stimulus check, these are things that can be done right now with your credit. So folks, I hope you was hearing and understand what Gerald was saying. You know, it's not that difficult and it's not that overcomplicated. Our goal is to help folks get into that apartment, get into that house, get into that car. But you got to understand, no more than $3 a day is going to get you there. And if you're not even just doing that for yourself, you need to be thinking about that self-investing. You need to be thinking about, hey, what am I seeing for my future? What am I seeing for the next steps in my life? So, you know, Gerald has honestly and successfully done that with folks by putting it out on the line. Hey, you need this in your life, and the services that come with it, folks. I mean, it's a no-brainer at the end of the day compared with some of these other credit repair agencies. Even the ones that are doing them for free are not providing the value, because we're not creating that lifestyle where not only you can be better, but we're also trying to create that lifestyle where you can gain money from this by helping others. It's a win-win for everybody. So now, Gerald, I know that you definitely do some real estate on the side as well. I think we talked about you doing wholesaling, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, cool. Now, from your standpoint, because as me being a realtor, I definitely got my good definition of wholesaling. But for somebody who's actively doing it right now, down in Jackson, Mississippi, tell the folks what pretty much wholesaling is.
Okay, so wholesaling is basically finding distressed situations or properties to get at a discount to provide to investors who flip or rent properties, who don't have the time to find or locate these properties due to the rehab process and all the dealing with the tenants and things like that. So basically, we're like the middleman to acquiring discounted properties. And we do such things such as marketing, cold calling, and I'll explain some of those things if need be. But marketing, cold calling, direct mail, postcards, and things like that to get those leads calling us, or we find them through reaching out through skip tracing and things like that. And I can go based on some of the systems that I use as well. But it's mainly, so I'm gonna put it like this. Say for instance, if you know someone who has what's an example I want to use? Say for instance, you know someone who has a Mercedes Benz, right? You have a friend, a personal friend who has a Mercedes Benz for $2,500. They just want to get out of the car. They owe $2,500. And you know someone who's looking for a Mercedes Benz for $5,000, $10,000. I'm normally using low numbers. I know people wish they could find a Mercedes Benz for that amount. For $10,000, you'll go to that person who was looking to pay retail for $10,000 and say, "Hey, I got a Mercedes Benz for $7,500. No repairs. I mean, what I want to say, like these minor maintenance problems." You'll say that car to him for $7,500 and make a $5,000 exchange through doing a proper contract. Like, so real estate basically you're pushing paper. You get a property on a contract, which means you have equitable interest in that property where you control it for that agreed upon date on that contract, and you find an end buyer in between that time to purchase at a profit or at a discount still, where they still can make a profit as well. So he still can go sell that car for $7,500, $10,000 and make $3,000 himself.
Okay. Now, what a lot of people probably don't understand with wholesaling is communication is the name of the game, folks. So, Gerald, in that situation, in the same scenario with the Mercedes-Benz, let's say we're nearing that 30-day deadline. Typically, what should a wholesaler do when they're nearing that deadline, that it's like, hey, this person told me that my $2,500 car can get sold. Meanwhile, you're still out there looking for a person to purchase that $2,500 car, so you can make some money off of that assignment fee. What do you typically do in that situation when you're nearing that deadline?
Okay, so typically on a contract, you can either put in the bottom if you need an extension. This what words and literature. I mean, not literature. Proper precautions in a contract actually gives you a safety net. So on my contract, I actually put on the bottom, if I need an extension, can I get a 45-day extension after deadline, and I'll have an initial signed in there. So, but basically, if that's the case, I should have used a real estate example because the car is a little bit different. But I know in real estate, say for instance, if title didn't go through, or you have buyers that still need to get funding and stuff together, but he's definitely interested, already put the earnings money and stuff down. In those cases, sometimes you ask for extension. If not, the contract goes null and void. The buyer is allowed to bag out, but not so per se the seller. So that's why it's actually risk-free, and wholesaling is actually a good avenue to get in if you're just starting out in real estate, because you don't have as much risk, but you definitely need to learn about all the legalities of it and the proper procedures, basically. So getting the proper contracts in place, learning about the proper what's the word I'm looking for? Verbiage. I say that right?
Yeah, verbiage. I'm with you, man. Hey,
verbiage.
Listen,
yeah,
you doing wholesaling. You already got the full definition of terminology down. So now, Gerald, now I know you said that you've been doing this for 3 years with the real estate. Now, today's day and age and such, with technology, resources, Google, YouTube. If somebody was really dedicated, how soon? And is there any type of certifications that need to be involved for the folks at home that don't know? Let's answer that question first. Do I need to go to a school, or do I need to get licensed in order to do this?
So you definitely need to educate yourself, but it's like putting forth, like, don't get analysis paralysis. So my first deal I learned off YouTube. No, you don't need any certifications because you're basically agreeing to purchase a property or assign a property to a buyer that has it on the contract. So basically educating yourself on the proper contract, because you can go to a person, they say, I'm gonna go with my realtor. If you use their realtor contract don't necessarily have the same verbiage as a purchase and sale agreement contract to allow you to assign a property to somebody. So you'll have to come up with your own cash as if it was a regular deal. So yes, you do have to educate yourself through reading books, things such as how to buy property, no and low money down. You know, you got wholesaling Bible, a gang of books that you can read, or you can go on YouTube. Biggerpockets.com is a great platform. It's just like Facebook, but all about real estate investing, from hotels, from single family homes all the way up to hotels and office spaces and things like that. You got Facebook wholesaling groups. Get into those groups, dive in deep, you know, like cut out social media or TV for 3 months just to learn how to actually be aware, because wholesaling actually allows you to write your own check. I made $6,000 my first deal in a month and 2 weeks. And
whoa! You can't be just streamlining past that, Gerald. You got to break that down slowly to them. You dropping gem after gem. You got people writing down book names. You got people going on YouTube trying to find books. You said you made how much off of your first deal?
$6,000 in a month and 2 weeks.
Wow. And how long? And now, how long education wise would you say got you to that point? If you could combine all the hours, all the days, the weekends, the late nights, and even early mornings, combined. Yeah, go ahead.
So me, I actually, I think I bought Nathaniel Merrill's book for $1 off Amazon. The book came in. I was reading while I was at work. I used to work at a place that manufactured street lights in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and Cooper Lighting is to be exact. 4 years ago, or 3 years ago. I'm tripping. But yeah, so I got that book. It was probably about 30 pages long, and I read it. I was like, oh snap, this is what I've been doing. Like, I used to sell glasses, belts, and things like that, you know. So I was like, oh, this is all I've been doing. But like, it was talking about you can make $10,000. So I was like, man, I might as well try it. So I read the book. I ended up going to the seminar, one of the free seminars, per se, that they say. They give you a little bit, sprinkle you with a little bit of information, and then get you for to pay that $100 3-day weekend, and then they're gonna go to $25,000 seminar. Is a huge upset when I went there. You know, like, I think I'm gonna get all the juice. But I did meet a few people there. But I took excellent notes at the seminar. So that, I say, they were about 3 hours there. Took those notes, went back home. Because I didn't have $100 to get into the 100-day weekend. I mean, the 3-day weekend thing. So, you know, but hey, took it to the 10, went home, took those notes, went on YouTube each step. So basically from how to find a seller to how to put the property on the contract. Oh no, how to find the seller, how to talk to the seller, how to put the property on the contract, how to market the property, how to find a buyer, and how to close the property. So I basically took those steps, and on YouTube, pause video, press play, you know, and did the steps. So when it went to how to find a seller, I basically used Craigslist to find my first deal. I saw a video, how to find sellers. I took the Craigslist approach. I paused it, wrote down his whole ad, used and copied his same ad, posted on Craigslist, and basically had started getting calls. I had my first seller was a guy who was, and these are typically the type of situation that you find. Wholesaling is basically you're finding people who need to sell versus people who want to sell. You got people who has job replacement, they need to move out of state, out of the blue, or you got people that went through divorce. They probably was paying a mortgage jointly, and now they can't afford it. You got people that has finna go through pre-foreclosure, and a pre-foreclosure, they don't want that on their record for 7 to 10 years. So they need to basically catch up the balance, and there's different strategies to buying a house too. I ain't gonna get into that yet. But it's just like having multiple tools in you, but you don't want to go in a house and just with a screwdriver, can do so much, right?
Definitely. No, and I know that goes into with the psoriasis analysis where a lot of people, and I've come across this from past conversations where so many people get hung up on learning that brand new concept of real estate or learning that brand new concept of wholesaling that they get stuck and pushed back, you know, or they're like, oh my gosh, I just read 5 books and they're a master at it, but yet they got to read 5 more. They got to save up to go to that special conference. They got to save up to get to that special getaway weekend. And it's like, no, you got the material. And you said it so you said it the best way possible. You go on YouTube, you press play, take notes, pause, rewind, press play again. You're teaching yourself, folks. It's self-discipline.
Yeah. Repetition is the key.
I love that, man. I love that.
But yeah, fast forward to me actually closing my deal. Like I say, I didn't know real estate from doggone I don't say from French words. You know what I'm saying? So I basically took those steps and I just pushed forward. Like once I placed the ad, I got calls I wasn't expecting, you know. So I went to talking to people. First I went to cold calling certain for sale by owners houses and just went to talking to those people and didn't know any. I promise you, I didn't know anything about real estate prior to me getting into real estate. But as I got on those phones, I saw I was just having regular conversations with individuals. And like you'll see, it's a people business. So you basically just having a conversation and figuring out what's their problem and how can we solve it. How can we solve it together? So once you get those issues, I basically took those notes and I talked to other investors. Hey, I got this house such and such. You know, asking this price. They'll tell me, hey, no, you got the house too high. You know what I'm saying? They're just starting off. Like you have to do proper analysis, learn how to run your numbers and things like that. How to get the property at a discount. You know. And with the ARV is, with the property rent for, with the cash flow, with the things that nature as you get on in. But if you just get learning really wholesaling, you basically find a property cheap where anybody can still make a profit. So basically, I went to other skilled investors, seasoned investors, and they let me know like, hey, that's a bad area. I can get it at this price, you know. And basically, I did owner finance my first deal.
Oh, nice.
So
now what's because we got some time. What's an owner finance deal?
So owner financing is basically where you don't have to go through a bank. You don't need a credit check. You really don't have to do employment verification. Some people do, but so the owner wanted. He initially wanted $40,000 for 3 houses, and because he had moved to Texas he was in the Army, in the services, right? So he moved to Texas. He had two of them rented, one of them was vacant. So owner financing is basically where a person will finance your house for agreed upon price if they can't get that cash price that they're looking for. Hey, okay, I can pay you $40,000. I give you $1,000 down. Whatever. Some people do no money down. You can do a small $3,000 down for 3 properties, and I'll pay you $200 a month for a certain amount of years without having to go through the bank. You know, it's just agreed upon price. But you get it at a price, if you're looking to buy and hold it, you get it at a price lower than market rent, to the point where you can still cash flow every month. So rents in that area was $600, you know, $650 a month. So if I did keep it, I could have profited, say, $300 out of the expenses.
Easily.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you calculate expenses in there too. Like you put back funding for repairs and taxes and things like that. So you have to put that in the calculator. So mine is probably about 18% out of the 650.
Okay. So what's that, about 130 from it? You're looking at about 520. So for the 520 from the 250, 270. So at least $250 was looking to be in your pockets if you was to do that. And that's residual income, folks. We just gave you the definition of residual income. You buying a property, you're looking at a distressed property, a property that nobody wants, a property that somebody's trying to give away. And Gerald did a fine job in explaining those examples, folks. People get going through a divorce. People need to move. You know, they found out that, hey, the resources in the area aren't that great, nor the school district is for my children. So I need to move, and I need to move immediately, especially during this time. We're in the summer months, folks. So a lot of people are trying to make that jump and are trying to make that leap. So when you find that and you build that relationship, you are merely taking that next step and saying, hey, let me talk to some investor friends who I just connected with. And the world is yours. We got LinkedIn, we got Facebook groups, you know, there's online meetups and such. So the events that you couldn't go to because you had to watch your kids, or maybe you had to work, or you were just getting off of work. Hey, if you're available at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, you now have these sessions where you could go to. And you know what? Even more so, if you happen to miss a session, you can still be part of it by, because a lot of times these folks will record these, such as this one is right now, where people can still get on and you can connect with those individuals. I can't tell you how many times, and I'm definitely sure Gerald will be getting some referrals and leads coming from this as well, because I definitely know a lot of people want to know detailed steps in regards to making that first 6,000 within 30 days. So, but with that being said, folks, you have the opportunity to reach out. You have the opportunity to network and get this wealth, not only on the credit repair side, but also the real estate side as well. Now, Gerald, now I know that in the state of Pennsylvania, and for the folks that are listening, in the state of Pennsylvania, I know that a licensed realtor can still do wholesaling. Does that still apply? Do you know, for the state of Mississippi, if somebody's a realtor out there, can they still do wholesaling?
Yes, yes, it does. You just have to place your brokerage on the saying that you are a broker when you're placing the contract, because a realtor is still allowed to buy a property, right?
Right.
And so that's basically what you're doing, but you're just a realtor. So you have to put that you are a realtor, but you're not representing that seller as a realtor. You're purchasing that property as a personal investment property. So I don't know how it is in Pennsylvania, but that's how it is down here.
That is exactly it. So, and folks, if you're in a different state outside of Mississippi or Pennsylvania, please definitely check the state laws. But 9 times out of 10, if you are an individual that is breathing and that you have a connection, or you yourself is the connection to purchase a property outright, as long as you're disclosing that you're a realtor, there really should be no issue at all. For those that aren't a realtor, you are an investor. You are looking to purchase something. It might not be your money. It might not be all of your money. It might be a portion of your money, or you being in the transaction just might be a time. But above all, folks, you are the investor. So there's 2 titles you walk into when you're talking to these homeowners. You are either the realtors themselves, because you're already licensed, or you are the investor yourself, letting them know, hey, I or a few friends of mine who are investors would be interested in looking at this property. Can we set up a time and date and move forward from there? You're just building relationships, folks, because here's the thing. The real estate is a competition game. There's no somebody saying like, hey, I got 10 houses I want to give away for free, but you got to be the first to show up. It doesn't work like that. But the moment that you do have that conversation, it definitely does work like that. I've heard stories after stories of people growing just from one deal because they had a conversation, or they pulled out of that homeowner. Hey, is this the only property that you have available? I actually have 2 more. My cousin actually has one. I got a brother who's looking to sell. My sister's looking to purchase some property. So all these things surrounding that, folks, brings you back to creating and putting money back in your pocket. So I'm definitely loving that, man. So Gerald, what are your next steps with your business? You know, FBS, I know we're all trying to get to that pinnacle level. But we're just pretty much sitting back and enjoying a cigar and some Cuban warm. But
so
for you with the real estate, what's your next steps? Like, where do you see yourself by the end of this year?
So by the end of the year, I'm trying to acquire 10 properties to actually utilize FES and actually change economic, what's the word I'm looking for? Economic, cause of economic shift in our communities to utilizing FES and educating our tenant buyers. We're not gonna do rent. We're gonna do rent to own or lease to own or owner financing on these properties, and educate those tenants through using FES, through teaching financial literacy how to properly manage their money, but also show them how to run their own business and utilizing tax breaks, because you are self-employed. When you become an agent with FES, where you get to write off the same things that you say. For instance, when you're traveling, you get to write off your gas mileage, you get to write off your attire, you get to write off your business meeting at the coffee shop. When you're going eating, you get to write off these type of things to get those type of breaks back when it comes to tax season. But so educating them on how to create multiple streams of income through a platform that's basically done passively for us, and actually build a lot more investors in our neighborhoods to buy back these dilapidated houses, hopefully to encourage more investments to build generational wealth for our tenant buyers and things like that. So basically expand our investment pool, our investment group, and actually renovate our neighborhoods.
I love that, man. That is beautiful. We need, if we had 1 million Geralds in this world, we'd all be rich. That is amazing, man. That is amazing. Right. So, Gerald, tell me this, man, for the folks at home, and I know I already pretty much tagged you in the video, but if folks happen to listen to this through YouTube or even on a podcast, how can somebody get in contact with you if they want to learn more about wholesaling or even just joining FES?
Yeah, so you can reach me on Facebook, Gerald McCullough. My contact information is on there, my website as well. You can reach me on Instagram, Billionaires Mindset HL. It's Billionaires Mindset HL on Instagram. You can reach me on Twitter, 90deal. And contact my email. Well, my email information and things all on my Facebook as well. All my contact information on Instagram too. Yeah.
All right, cool, man. All right, well, I greatly appreciate you having you on this Lunch and Learn. We're definitely hoping the people get in contact ASAP. I should be having my phone blowing up now. If somebody told me about making $6,000 within 30 days, I'm pretty much sure I would be typing away, getting back at it. So, but thanks again, Gerald. I really appreciate you having on the show, man.
No problem. Appreciate you.
Definitely. Have a good one, brother.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Fleslet on the beat.